10 in the towns and cities, but in the countryside, lows reaching 2 or 3 degrees in some spots, so it could be quite a chilly start to Saturday. But after that cool start, sunshine dominates once again on Saturday, so a lot of dry and fine weather with sunny spells. A few showers drifting in across the Manchester region down towards Birmingham, some across northern parts of England and Scotland. Temperatures between around 15 to 19 or 20 degrees, so some decent weather, but with those clear skies, a cold night. Now, if you are heading to Leeds or Reading Festival, sunny spells, more of a chance for shower for Leeds. Carfest in Hampshire should remain dry and fine at around 17 Celsius, but with those clear skies, a cold night Saturday night. Temperatures down to freezing in 1 or 2 spots in the north, even in central London down to around 6 Celsius, which means that Sunday will dawn on quite a chilly note. But some sunshine on offer once again, a lot of dry, usable weather. This rain heading in from the west, that pushes into the far southwest of England later in the day, but ahead of it, dry and fine. Highs again up to around 20 degrees, so it will warm up after that cold start. On into Monday, well, the rain works its way across England and Wales, but it won't be raining all the time. There'll be some drier interludes as well, so not a write-off. Some sunshine across parts of Scotland, but turning increasingly wet towards the southwest. So a mixed bag, plenty of sunshine through the course of the bank holiday weekend. A little bit of rain on Monday, but some dry weather in between. All the latest online.
As Scotland gears up for its historic decision on independence, I'll be presenting a weekly briefing on the twists and turns of the debate. Join me, James Cook, for 10 minutes with the key moments, the latest polls, the inside track, and who's saying what on social media. That's Scotland Decides, review of the week today at 4:30 and again at 8:30 here on BBC News.
Money. Where do you start? At Your Money, we put personal finances in the spotlight, speedily rounding up everything you need to know. Whether it's advice on your nest egg, rising energy costs, or pension plans, in a weekly bite-sized guide. We help you get to grips with your money. Tomorrow morning at 10:30 on BBC News.
This is BBC News. I'm Rajesh Merchandani. The headlines at 3. As the fighting continues in Iraq, Britain says it will not negotiate with Syria's President Assad to tackle the threat from Islamic State extremists. That's despite calls for a change of policy.
If they're going to be defeated, confronted and perhaps defeated, then the fight's got to be taken into Syria as well.
Ukraine accuses Russia of invading its territory after humanitarian aid lorries crossed the border without permission into rebel-held areas. Ceremonies take place in Malaysia, marking the return home of the country's first victims of flight MH17 shot down over Ukraine last month. Also coming up in the next hour, tougher treatment for doctors who make mistakes. They could face harsher sanctions and be forced to apologise if they previously refused to say sorry to patients.
Welcome to Match of the Day, the first of a weekly series coming to you every Saturday on BBC Two.
And 50 years on and still going strong, Match of the Day continues to score with football fans. Good afternoon, welcome to BBC News. The Foreign Secretary Philip Hammond has ruled out working with Syria's President Assad in order to defeat the threat from Islamic State militants. His comments follow calls that Britain should consider talks with the Assad regime, including from the former head of the British Army, Lord Dannatt. He said any airstrikes over Syria would have to be carried out with Mr Assad's approval. Well, earlier, US defence chiefs described the jihadi threat in Iraq as the most dangerous threat America has faced in recent times. Our defence correspondent, Jonathan Beale, has the story.
For the past 2 weeks, America's been using its military power to halt the advance of the Islamic State fighters in northern Iraq. A bombing campaign that's only recently been stepped up following the brutal beheading of the US journalist James Foley. It's his death and the shockwaves it caused that's refocusing minds on both sides of the Atlantic. Intelligence agencies are still trying to establish the identity of his executioner, who's believed to be British, but he's just one of many foreign fighters who've joined the ranks of an extreme barbaric organization, which America now says poses the greatest threat to the West.
They're beyond just a terrorist group. They marry ideology, a sophistication of strategic and tactical military prowess. They are tremendously well funded. Oh, this is beyond anything that we've seen. So we must prepare for everything. And the only way you do that is you take a cold, steely, hard look at it and get ready.
The problem, though, is not just that their fighters are well-trained, well-armed and well-funded. It's one of geography, with the tentacles of the Islamic State recognizing no borders. What President Obama calls a cancer has already spread from its source in Syria to large swathes of Iraq. So the question is, how can the threat be defeated, not only contained?
This is an organization that has an apocalyptic end-of-days strategic vision, and which will eventually have to be defeated. To your question,